So 2024 is here. Kind of incredible. And you might be wondering about your New Year's resolution. And here's what I'm going to say. Every year, people find this to be something so hard to do. What if it was easy? What if we could make some New Year's resolutions that worked along with who we were? So I just wrote an article that will link to this blog in Fast Company about what if we had New Year's resolutions that were easy. So I'd love to talk you through those. There's 4 main behavior styles. They're the doer, thinker, seer, and feeler. So doers are the ones who love checking things off their to-do list. We know biologically we get an adrenaline hit when we do that. It makes us feel good. So are you a doer? Are you perhaps a thinker? Somebody who loves taking your time to solve methodical, analytical problems? Or are you more of a seer? Someone who's innovative and visionary and kind of, futuristic. You help us build the future. Or are you more of a feeler? Somebody whose currency is relationships, people. The way that you know is, you'll know because you'll figure out what gets you most jazzed. Under stress, do you turn to other people to figure out what to do? Are you somebody who needs space and time to figure out problems? That's the thinker. Are you somebody who wants all possibilities open and you start brainstorming? The seer. Or are you the person who's like, let me just make a list and I'm gonna check it all off? So just kind of as you start to digest that, right? Paying attention to which one most resonates for you under stress. So we're gonna start and go back in order. If you're a doer, perhaps for the new year, the way that you get energized and re-engaged is you start by creating a goal, like setting a goal to do something faster than you did it before. It could be anything. It could be frying an egg in the morning. It could be checking your email. It could be whatever it is. You like that strategy of setting a goal and making it happen faster. The efficiency is what energizes you. Perhaps you have multiple workspaces because you're in a hybrid work environment. If that's true, make sure you have structured space in each of those environments that gives you the space to be able to do. A lot of times, we might have an office and then we kind of wing it at the other place that we're at, but we don't quite feel settled as doers. So I want to make sure you have that structured space. All you need is, creating some structured time as a tool. So if you don't use, 45-minute blocks, 90-minute blocks, create that structure for yourself this year and give yourself the race of time, which is how much can I get done in this time block? And then on your breaks, if you haven't really structured those, get yourself moving because you're someone who really likes moving in your body. So if there's any of those that seem helpful, doers, what if you just incorporated something that made you flow even more with what you already do? And I'll give you a little hint. Your greatest fear as a doer is emotions and vulnerability. So that might be something you avoid, just to give you a clue where you're like, oh yeah, that might be me. Because they're messy, because they take time, because you don't know how to navigate them, because you can't put structure around them. So that's often one of the doer's greatest fears. So think about those suggestions, but now let's turn to thinkers. Thinkers, you are the ones who love analysis, thoughtful problem solving, and you're the ones who like things to be done in a certain sequence. So how do you perhaps energize yourself this year? In the morning, organize your sock drawer, your spice drawer. I don't care what you organize, but organizing and making things more right in the world gives you the energy that you need. So now, the other way that you can start to gain effectiveness is by batching like tasks. So if you create time, like 9 to 10:30 is when I do email, and 10:30 to 11 is when I make phone calls. You don't like being interrupted. You like doing things in sequence, and you're almost like a locomotive. Once you start going, you get going, and you gain momentum. So think about batching like tasks this year. What about tools for you? Like, do you use a task manager? Do you take everything that's complicated and like have it streamlined in a project management type tool? That would help the complexity of your world become simple. I'm actually doing that. My team and I are moving on to something called Monday.com. So we're doing that. If your greatest fear, actually, no, let me go back to your break. So when you take a break, do something that gets you out of your head. Free up your mind and clear your thoughts and get into your heart. I don't know, watch a cat video, play with the dog, whatever you need to do, or move your body. That will help clear your mind as well. So your job on breaks is to very actively and intentionally get out of your head. I like to juggle as well. It crisscrosses, right? It crisscrosses the brain, both sides of the brain, neurologically when you do that, when you cross the midsection. So thinkers, see if any of those seem enticing to you. Your greatest fear would be looking foolish. So hopefully that'll give you a clue. If that's you want to just get it right. Sometimes you get caught in perfectionism. But your greatest fear would be more around looking foolish. The third behavior style is the seer. The seer is the visionary, the brainstorming, the forward thinker, the early adopter of new things. You love brainstorming. So here's some thoughts for you. Even if you're at home when you work, you love aesthetics. So put on your power suit. Whatever makes you feel and look good will give you the confidence to start your day with energy. Tools for you, use a mind manager. Like, capture all the thoughts that are coming out of your brain into a tool that will save them so you can remember them, because otherwise they come right out and they're gone. Another piece of this for you to create some structure in your world, a strategy actually is to block on your calendar, because you like to alternate. You like freedom and space. You like to alternate between routine tasks and creative ones. So block out larger chunks of time for yourself so that it'll give you the freedom throughout the day. Like 10 to 12 is when you're gonna, work on something, not like 10 to 10:30, because then you can do the creative piece and you might wander off and do something routine, and then you'll be back, but you won't be off schedule. So that's a good tip to keep you on track. And then for you, on your breaks, you're gonna wanna do something innovative and cool. So it's, learning a new cool hip hop move, going on TikTok and seeing, what's fun and new that's out. That'll jazz you and give you the energy to get back to work when it's time. And lastly is the feelers. I better tell you before I go to the feelers, your greatest fear, Seers, is feeling trapped. And so sometimes you don't really like to make commitments. And so that'll give you a clue. If that sounds like you, you're somebody who just likes your freedom and your space. So now let's go to the feelers. Feelers are the fourth behavior style, and your currency is people, relationships. You love social connection. And so one way to get you going is to make sure that you have someone you really like connecting to run through your day in the morning. You want to connect to another soul, virtually, on the phone. You don't care. You just really get your energy through connection. Now, some strategies for you to become accountable. Let's say there's something you're not making progress on. Get an accountability buddy. Get an accountability buddy, because you aren't going to miss that. You won't miss something that is tied to you connecting to someone you really enjoy being with. So let someone know that you need some help. The other thing that I'd say is tools for you there's project management tools where you can, even if you're not with people, you can see where everybody else is on the project. and that'll give you a little bit of comfort. Or join one of these co-working spaces where even if you're working on different things, you have the energy of people around you. And if you don't want to do that, what about virtually putting it on mute, but a couple of you just kind of being on Zoom, working together to inspire each other. Even if you're in silence in your own space, you always know someone's right there. And for breaks, pretty obvious, virtual or in person, actual happy hours, going on a hike, doing something fun with each other. So your greatest fear, feelers, is feeling rejected. So sometimes you don't speak up and say what you need to, and this might be the year that you start doing that. So this is a quick summary of working with your behavioral style rather than against it. Don't try to be someone who's really structured and always on time if you're someone who's a seer and you need the flexibility of routine with creative. Actually, what about if you created that extra space so that you could work better in your own work style? All right, I hope this was helpful, and maybe this year's New Year's resolutions, what if they were easy?